Which camera I'm looking at today?
Evan, you need to unmute. Hey, Luke, you can start.
Good afternoon, Cam. Hey, some of your bigger games of your career have come against the Falcons. Do you think that's just a product of kind of familiarity with them, or is it something else, do you think?
Who knows? Whatever the magnetism is, though, I believe in it.
Amy?
Yeah, I didn't know if I froze or something. Cam, you got really still. It was bizarre.
It happens sometimes. I do stop moving. Sometimes.
I'll believe it when I see it. Thomas Morstead obviously doesn't play with y'all anymore. Plays for the Falcons now.
Saints legend.
Yeah.
Once a Saint, always a Saint.
Have you
Still
paid
lives here.
attention to his career this season? And just how, I guess, promising is it that he's still succeeding?
I mean, he's the leg. Moniker, the leg. We know he's got a boom. Again, moniker, the leg. Refer to the leg, a.k.a. the leg. Thomas Morstead has been a great person, a great pillar for the Saints building for longer than, at least, 12, 13 years? He was here longer than I was here. And so when you think about him now donning that black and red, it's a little, it is what it is. But I mean, he still, wish nothing but the best for him, because we know what kind of man, what kind of guy, what kind of family man Timo is. For him to, be over there, it's an opportunity for him to shine. And I think he already got an NFC defensive or NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. That's great for him. But if we get a chance, I'm definitely gonna put a hit out on him.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, I know you guys mainly concentrate on what you're doing, but did you notice, I guess from the first time you guys played the Falcons, that were they doing anything different with Matt Ryan in terms of trying to get the ball out a little quicker, a little earlier, so the pressure wouldn't get to him?
Yeah, we always know Matt Ryan has had one of the quickest releases in the game. It can be frustrating trying to get to him, because his timing just is that much faster. Last time we played him, he was in his bag, and then this coming up, we know we have to put pressure on him. We have to get there faster. So whatever it takes, one step faster is whatever we have to do.
Luke?
Do you have any explanation for why you guys are leading the NFL in red zone defense right now? Is there anything that you guys do particularly well down there that stands out to you?
I wish we were leading the league in every category, but we'll take that. I do know that our red zone and our third down defense has stepped up in a major way this last quarter of the season. And honestly, it's the mentality of the more we can do. We're trying to help our team win in whatever facet that we see fit. And I feel like it showed. We've got an emphasis on bend, don't break. We get in there, we try and we make them earn each and every yard over there.
Ron Walker?
Hey Cam, this is a hypothetical here, but let's suppose the shoe was on the other foot and the Falcons were playing for the playoff berth and y'all were out of it. Like, how motivated?
They're the Falcons. Before they're the Falcons. We're trying to beat them every turn they go. I mean, the fact that they beat us this year still is going to be it's upsetting. So beyond that, it's always going to be a Saints versus Falcons, Saints versus everybody mentality, and it doesn't matter what they're trying to do. We're focused on what we're trying to do this game.
Amy?
In that, obviously y'all are professionals and have a job to do, but is it fair to say that you're only human and will be scoreboard watching if the Rams and 49ers score takes across any of them?
Yeah, if we're up by 50 points, I'll look over. I mean, again, between the lines, in between the lines, in between the first quarter through the fourth quarter, game whistle. That's all I'm focused on is trying to get a hold of Matt, create a turnover, get a hold of running back, create a turnover. It is what it is. I think our defense has to be fully locked in for 60 minutes, and we'll worry about how the cards will turn as they may. But again, we have to handle our business first before we can look outside.
It's been a while since this team has been in that position where you have to win and get in and then hope that something else happens. What has your message been to some of your teammates, your younger ones that haven't necessarily been in this position before?
Same thing as it was last week. This is exactly what it is. We control our destiny right now. I mean, as far as we win, we have another week to play for. We win, we have a possibility of another week to play for. We're fully locked in. As you guys saw last week, our intensity is just that a little bit higher. It's that much more. It's whatever you got left in the tank because there could possibly be, this could possibly be our last game. And we have to play like each down is going to be our last down. So that just is what it is. You're not guaranteed 17 anymore. We are at 17. This is it.
Yeah, this is 17 and it's been a long ride. No excuses, but has this been one of the more memorable for many reasons seasons you've had?
Of course. I mean, you talk about Ida displacing us to Dallas. You talk about playing our first home game in Florida. Was that Jacksonville when we played Green Bay? I mean, we've had coaches on COVID. Half our defensive coaching staff on COVID. I felt like I was a D-line coach at one point for a week. We've had multiple players down with COVID. We've had half the team down with COVID. It is what it is. We're going to. If we're going to do anything, we're going to stick together as a Saints locker room, as a Saints organization. And I just feel like, our leaders are so solid in this locker room that we're built for adversity. We're built to overcome adversity. So this is an adverse situation. It's time to show what we've been built for.
Cam Wolf.
Cam, just listening to you kind of list the things you deal with this year. Is there one of those moments or one moment that you really learned what this team was kind of after dealing with so many things?
I mean, Tampa Bay game, the first game. I mean, you have our starting quarterback, Jameis Winston, go down, and a lot of teams might fold. A lot of teams might tuck their tail for that, last half. But you see the resiliency there. There's been multiple times where you see something not go our way, but you were still able to overcome. Again, we go off to Jacksonville versus, it was Jacksonville, right? I'm pretty sure it was Jacksonville. We go off to Jacksonville to play Green Bay, and it was a little bit more Green Bay than it was, black and gold, which is rare, which apparently, that just shows a testament that Green Bay was trying to get out of Wisconsin too. But seriously, everything that we've done this year has shown, what the locker room is able to overcome, what the coaching staff is able to overcome, what the Saints organization led by Mrs. B we're able to do. And I think there's a lot of things that because we have the right locker room, we have the right leaders in place, we're able to not only push through but thrive in some of these situations.
Appreciate it.
Anything else for Cam?
You guys have a blessed one. Bye.
Huh?
Just talk to the camera for your answer.
Oh, yeah. I'm not looking at them.
You can do that when they're asking the question. When you answer, just look at me.
Amy, you could start us off.
Been a long time since we've spoken to you. What were the last 3-ish weeks like for you? Being away from the team, obviously, but also having to deal with COVID while that was going on.
Yeah, to be honest, I was bored. I didn't know what to do with my time. The first week I couldn't even come into the facility, so that was probably the worst week. But the week after that, I was able to come in. I was in the team meetings. I was in some of the meetings and getting treatment. But the last week, COVID, I didn't really get too sick. Like, I felt a little bit of the symptoms, but it went away pretty fast. But for me, I was just bored. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave the house for 1 week, and then 1 week I just couldn't be around the team. So it was just boring, miserable, really.
Luke Johnson.
Deonte, what's it been like watching Marquez kind of turn up the last couple of weeks and come up with a couple of huge games for him? Just knowing that you guys have been shorthanded a lot of times this year in that receiver corps.
Yeah, I'm mad at him because I think he had 2 games where he could have went for 100, but nah, it's major. Like I told y'all before, a guy like him, you just want to see him win. He kind of got the same story as me as far as undrafted and stuff like that. So for him to be able to do what he's done in the last couple of weeks has been major. So shout out to Quest.
Nick,
Yeah, how much pride do you take in just last week fielding some of those punts, like where field position is so important? You got guys crashing in on you. Just what's kind of the difficulty of standing in there in doing that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely scary, but they talk about it all the time. Hitting yards is something that won't pop up in the stat sheet, but it's something that we put an emphasis on, and so I definitely take a lot of pride in it. I mean, that's part of my job, help my team get the best field position they can. So, I mean, even if it's not a 50-yard return, then it is what it is. But it helped the team, it put the team in a good position. So, I'm gonna do it.
Amy,
Yeah, off the field, you had some pretty big things happen lately. Changing your last name.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you and personally? And then what does that mean for you on the field? Like, what do you want us to call you? That type of stuff.
Personally, for me, it was major. That's a man has played the father figure in my life for 17 years, and so it was something I always thought about and always wanted to do. And I felt like, the holiday. I always told him like he not like an emotional guy, so I was like every year I'm gonna try to do something that like try to bring tears to your eyes because I never seen him cry before. So it was just a thought that I always had, and I just felt like that was the right time to do it. That's my guy, that's my hero. So for me, it's an honor for him to accept me as his son, accept my brothers, and then for him to let me take on his last name so that I could pass it down to my kids. It's just major. And as far as football, to be honest, I don't know. I think it's up in the air, but I think for next year, I think I'm gonna change the last name on the jersey. I just gotta figure out, make sure it ain't nothing wrong with it.
Luke,
What did you think of the job Aesop did filling in for you at punt return?
He did solid. I ain't gonna lie, it was one. I don't know who we played. I think it was the Jets. It was one. I think he could have scored on. He looked kind of slow, but for him to come in as a rookie, and I think he had a good impact, a big impact on some of them plays that he had in. So, for him to just come in, get comfortable, field those punts, and just try to make plays. Shout out to him. I know that's a moment that he been waiting for. So, shout out to Aesop.
Hey, Deonte, just so like we aren't disrespecting you for anything when we write about you, tweet about you, do you want us to go by Harris or should we start going by Hardy like as of now?
You could just go with whatever you feel. It don't matter. Nah, go by Hardy. Go by Hardy. Go by Hardy.
All right, we got you.
Yeah, go by Hardy.
And Deonte, if I could, look, you knew this suspension was coming probably, right? So if you could just kind of walk us through like waiting on that to come down and once it finally did, like how did you try to, even though you had the COVID thing, how did you try to spend your time away from football in that time?
So obviously, like you said, we knew the suspension was coming. We just didn't know when. I've never been suspended before, so obviously the legal system got their own deal with whatever, and the NFL deal with it afterwards. So, we ended up appealing. I played a few games because we had injuries and stuff like that. And so, once it hit, it wasn't like it wasn't expected. It was just, just something we had to deal with. It came at a bad time for the team, but, we always preach that next man up mentality. So, but it wasn't nothing that like caught us off guard. It was just dealing with the people outside of it, because you got the people that first knew when it came out, and then you had the people that was like DMing me and stuff, like asking me about it and stuff like that. So really that was just like the biggest thing, like just dealing with, or just trying to stay away and try to ignore the people outside of football. But I didn't really get too many, the people that love me, they still embrace me, they still I'm still who I am. I just made a mistake, and I learned from it, and yeah.
Anything else for Deonte? Appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next time, y'all gotta let me and Quest do our interview together. Make sure y'all tell him how he's sorry because he didn't go for 100
Bruh,
twice.
first of all, they said we couldn't do our interview together. I think that was a load of BS because they just didn't want us together. But they let the defense go together. I'm just saying, you know. But how are y'all doing?
We can get started, Luke. Hey Marquez, what these last couple of weeks been like for you? It seems like you're ramping your production up. Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable out there? What would you explain it? How would you explain it?
Honestly, I just feel like we've been coming together a little bit more. Just together as an offense. I know we try to go out there and score touchdowns every time we're on the field. I know that doesn't always happen, but that's what we go out there and do. That's the objective. So anything that we do is to win, to go score. So, and we just, whenever our number's called, we try to make the play. And numbers being called and we're trying to make the play.
Any guess?
Yeah, while there's been COVID and injuries and all of the above happening, both Kawan and Isak got their chances to play in the last couple of weeks. I guess what was your perception of how they've done the last couple of weeks?
Man, they needed to step up, and we needed them to step up, and that's what they did. Whether it was special teams or playing a role in the offense, we needed them, and they came through. I can't tell you how happy I am and proud of them. I told them when they was coming, I was like, man, it's been a long season. Y'all have earned this. I know y'all probably thought it never would come, just the way how CJ and the coaches always on them, always want them to get better. And I know the feeling because I went through it last year, how maybe you can never feel like you was doing things right, or maybe it was never up to standard, because it is a standard to play here. And I kind of knew what they was going through. So when they finally got their chance to play, I told them, enjoy it, take it all in. And I'm pretty sure that's what they did. They loved it. You can tell how they played. And I just hope they get an opportunity to play again. A lot more, at least.
Luke Johnson. Marquez, Deonte's saying we got to give you grief for not hitting 100, but I think he's shortchanging on that 100-yard game he hit a couple weeks ago.
Oh, man.
What's it been like having him back, man? I know you guys seem pretty close.
Yeah, it's great to have him back, He always gives me crap, and I give him crap all the time. But, I think that's just how close the whole room. I'm talking as receivers because, that's who we're with all the time. So I think the receiver room's gotten closer as it should, from the beginning of the season through camp through now. I feel like we all kind of figured each other out and know how we interact, how we play with each other on and off the field. And as you see, Deonte stole my idea of my scooter, so we rode the scooter in together. He called me when he got that scooter for Christmas, and I was happy. I told him, it ain't like mine. I got the original one. Mine's faster, it looks better, and I look better on it. So I told him that when he first got it. So just but it's great to have him back, not just, as a friend off the field, but as a player on the field.
Amy?
Yeah, you touched on a little bit with training camp and all of that. Is it, with everything that has happened this year, no excuses, obviously, but does it feel real, just all of the things that y'all have had to go through this season, whether it's the hurricane or injuries or COVID or, I could keep going, but this is a question for you, not for me. Just how do you balance through all of that, just knowing that the regular season is almost over and y'all have been through quite a lot this year?
Man, like you said, it's been a lot. Like this we could honestly write a story or have a movie about this year. But like you said, no excuses. I mean, that's about it. You know, every team goes through it. Every team has injuries. Every team has COVID issues. I mean, probably not everybody has been relocated because of a hurricane, but you know that just plays a part of it. You know, I think it kind of helped the team. I know we said at the beginning, you know, try not to look at it as something bad, but look at it as something good. When we left, I think that was a big, big bonding experience for the whole team, just because normally when we leave the facility, we all go home. And now that we left practice or leave wherever we was at, we all went back to the hotel and we all was in the same building and under the same roof. So I think that kind of built us closer together at the beginning of the season. And it just kind of carried over. So whether players that wasn't with us at the beginning are with us now, I think it still creates the same atmosphere.
I have time for one more for Luke Johnson.
Marquez, I'm curious that, you know, maybe you weren't coming into this season expecting to kind of take on this role that you have. I'm curious how challenging the season has been at some points for you, and if you feel like late in the year you've kind of found something maybe that wasn't there before, or if this is just kind of, you know, what happens when you're in the field as much as you are.
Right. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I mean, coming in this year, I had no idea what was going to happen, what I was getting myself into, and I definitely didn't know the season would end up like how it ended up. Granted, the injuries, COVID, in the hotel with the hurricane, but I think it just made me feel like I actually belong here in a way, like being able to go out there and play, being able to have the confidence and the trust that the coaches and the players, quarterbacks, no matter who it was that was out there, it just built my confidence up. So from the beginning of the season to now, you know, lots of ups and downs, lots of controversy that happened, and it just all builds up character. It all builds up personality. And I mean, playing somewhere else, I definitely wouldn't have gotten this experience. Playing without the guys here definitely would have been a different experience. So just going and staying true and just trusting the process. That's all I can say about this year. Just trust the process, and whether it works out good or bad, you know, it just helps in every way.
Cool. I think we're all set. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marquez.
Thank you.